when the kingdom of God is manifesting in you and through you, will be easy for people to believe. We are the ones that create an atmosphere of faith. So people are going to come and want to talk to you, want you to pray for them, because there is something that makes them trust whatever is inside you. Does it make sense? Because there's so much talking about the mechanism of faith and how is that and how can you do that? How can you have more faith? And they're all important, and there's a personal growth in relationship with living faith, living faith. But as far as what happened to the Lord, and that's what's happening with you, every time he would go in a place, people could believe. And this first example is someone that came and basically took the power of healing from him. He didn't heal her. She got it. I remember I was at work one time, and something happened. The Lord is kind of manifesting in kind of interesting ways. And this guy came from like 4 or 5 cubes and was screaming that, you have to touch my ear. I've been deaf in this ear. Touch my ear. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit, because it's like, he was a brother. It's like, what? I was in front of my laptop. Here we do computer stuff. We don't do healing stuff. What made him to know that there is something that when he is touched, he got it? Okay, so what is coming towards you and you is this atmosphere, this manifestation of the presence of the beginner of faith and the completion of faith. He is the start and the finish, and that's the one that's manifesting through you. There is absolutely no problem, and you have no problem to believe. I'm speaking to you because you can believe. That's why I'm speaking to you like this. So here's what happened to her. I don't know if you know, in the Hebrew culture, in the Jewish culture, because she had this flow of blood, she had to be isolated from people. So the moment you had this, the priest would basically put you like a leper, okay, exactly like a leper. So you had to live outside the society, outside the crowd, in a place isolated by yourself, because they believed that God cursed you. So this cursed woman decides to do something completely against anything that was normal for her, which is coming to a crowd. Did you ever think of that? She comes into the crowd. And so that's against, anything. She could have been punished to death. I mean, that's exactly what she did. She knew that if she gets caught, that's death penalty. Okay? She'll be stoned to death. She left the isolation place. She came into the crowd. She has to die. So she went all in. That's an interesting thing. You know, lots of people, well, let me try God. Well, let me try this prayer. Let me see how it is. That's not how you are. You are an absolute believer that you go all in. That's how you are. And you go against all odds and against all the people are saying, the laws, you know, the laws of nature and the stuff. You go absolutely against. Your faith is not only because, your faith is in spite of anything else. In spite of anything else. That's the faith. That's the true thing. Maybe the symptoms didn't leave, not because you didn't believe, didn't read enough, didn't listen to all the good melodies and harmonies and stuff. Maybe you didn't believe in spite of. So she does that. And she says, I'm dead anyhow, so here he goes. I'm going for him. And Mark 5:25. Woman having come who had a flow of blood for 12 years, had endured much suffering under the hands of many doctors, and had spent all of the things which she had, and was not even one bit improved, but rather grew worse. Listen to this. Having heard the things concerning Jesus. This is the atmosphere of faith. Now that's what people are going to hear from you. Things concerning Jesus. They're going to hear that. They're going to say, oh my gosh, it's something about you. Jesus? That's the way you speak. Jesus? Yeah, there's something about me, of course. This is it. She heard things concerning Jesus, and having come in the crowd behind, touched his garment. And here is verse 28. For she kept saying, I mean, can you see? Can you see her? It's like maybe cover, maybe really, you know, yeah, they can see me. Oh man, everybody knows. Okay, they're gonna kill me right now. But that's not what she was saying. She kept saying, if I touch even his garments, I will be made whole. So here it is. I don't know how long it took her to come from the isolation, but that's all that she was saying. It's like kind of a lost her mind, right? I mean, can you say something else? No. She kept saying, that's what the word says. I love that. She kept saying, if I touch his garments, I'll be made whole. If I touch his garments, I'll be made. If I touch his garments, if I touch his garments, I'll be made whole. For hours probably. For hours. If I touch his garments, if I touch, that's it. That's it. The point of contact that releases the power of God and destroys sickness. If I touch his garments, if I touch his garments, if I touch his garments, I'll be made whole. Yes. That's it. It's not just hope. That's something more. Do you get it? It's more than hope. Because she predicted her future. That's pretty cool. She predicted her future. If I do this, I will be made whole. I will be made whole. I will be made whole. This is it. That's my future. What's your future? Well, I'm going to wake up in the morning and let me predict my future. Probably this part of the head is going to hurt until I get my coffee. And then this knee is going to kind of not work very well until I start moving. Are you predicting your future? Probably. Oh oh man, the moment I open my eyes, the presence of God is so strong. I'll jump up. I'll walk in the victory. I'll walk in the joy of the Lord. Today is His day. Yes, it's happening. Predicting your future. She kept saying. Next one is Mark, still Mark, 10. I think it's 38. Well, somewhere there. 10:46. So here's something very interesting about this guy that I want you to meet. They came into Jericho, says in Mark 10:46. And as Jesus is proceeding out of Jericho, his disciples and a sizable crowd, the son of Timaeus, Bartimaeus, a blind, a beggar, was sitting, as was his habit, alongside the road. Having heard that it was Jesus, again, do you see a common thread? He heard it's Jesus there. This is it. It's Him. It's about Him. There's something about Him that makes faith manifest. He is the author of it. And having heard that it was Jesus, the Jesus from Nazareth, he began to be crying out and saying, Son of David, Jesus, have sympathy with me in my affliction and help me at once. Many kept on censoring him severely to the effect that he should become silent. But he kept on crying out all the more, Son of David, have sympathy with me in my affliction and help me at once. Have mercy on me. I love that. Simpler. And having come to a standstill, Jesus said, call him at once. And they called the blind man, saying to him, be of good courage, be arising, he's calling you. And listen to this, verse 50. And having thrown off his outer garment, having leaped up, he came to Jesus. Why is this important? Because all the blind people were supposed to wear a special garment. You know, today they have little sticks, you know, the white thing, so you know it's a blind that wants to pass. At that time, there was a garment. He was dressed. So when somebody would see him, would know this guy cannot see. That's pretty cool. He threw off and threw out his garment. Why? He was not going to need it. I'm not the blind man anymore. He still couldn't see. He still couldn't see. Technically, he was still blind. Not for faith. He already got it. He already got it. And Jesus tells him, your faith has made you whole. He didn't tell him, I believe in you. I'm declaring your word every morning. I'm saying your word. I'm listening to the worship songs. He didn't say that. He threw his garment. The identity of sickness in a sick has to be thrown out. Because when he shows up, that's going to be useless. When the Lord shows up, you're done with that stuff. It's old. It's behind you. He threw the garment. Hey, Jesus is here. I'll be a healed blind. I'm absolutely new. This is what I want to give you. You have this amazing, absolutely powerful faith. And it's not a faith just because someone tells you, because you want to believe. It's a very simple faith. When you know it's the Lord, you just go against anything that used to be. You just believe in spite of all that stuff. And you take on the new identity, the identity of the healed person. Healed person. That's the identity you take on, because you don't need the old one anymore.